Greetings, everybody. We are back around our phones here again for another fun edition of our live streamy goodness. This week, I've been carrying brand new Kershaw M4 Blur. Bit of an exclusive.
Limited edition, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went out fishing today, so I decided to carry my brand new Kershaw M4 Blur. So, yeah, bit of an exclusive.
Yep. Limited edition.
Yeah. And then I was working in the shop today, so I figured I'd carry my, limited edition M4 Blur, just cause.
Yep.
Well, gee, guys, y'all have really good taste, and this is where I would put my M4 Blur if I had it.
And this is where I put it. If I had one. Sorry, what's the happy?
Sucker!
Yeah. This is what I actually had in my pocket today, but I will get one of those blurs. I need one. I need it.
It won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just jump in real quick and say what's going on to Darren and Will to Survive. What are you guys carrying tonight?
Yeah.
I don't think Darren knew that there's an M4 Blur.
No.
No, I don't think so.
They sold out in a day. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, they'll sell out in a day next week too. I just don't know what day that is yet.
Yeah.
Whatever day they show up.
As soon as we can get them back.
By selling out in a day, Paul means just from the Calgary cutting edge.
Yes.
Because these ones are a Kershaw exclusive, pretty much, and the cutting edge was the only dealer in Canada that was able to nab some.
That I know of, not 100% on
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, we got quite a few of them. We're happy to get a few of them. I know they're going to be hard to find in Canada, for sure. So, yeah.
Most definitely. Will to Survive is carrying his tactical triage.
Nice.
Because,
Yep.
that's definitely not the wrong answer. And Darren's carrying the Sword of Feely and the Sword of Keely from
He's going for a workout today.
I was going to say, how does he type? Is it all the speech to text, or?
I hope
One
so.
of them's in his teeth.
Very carefully with the sword tips.
Oh. I admire your dexterity, sir.
It's very, very delicate typing. So did we want to talk about these a little bit at all before we get into questions and stuff tonight? And
Sure.
just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a blur.
That was a lot of build up. I really, really like that.
Yeah. It's been a
Good
long
talk.
time.
Good talk.
It's been a long time standard model from Kershaw, so there are definitely plenty of reviews out there. But this one is just, it was such a good price for the steel it is, and the exclusivity of it. It's, one of those ones that all of us just have to nab up.
M4
First
is...
time I've got an assisted knife in probably 5 years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The first time I've bought a Kershaw in probably 5 years as well, if I'm being completely honest.
You got a cryo.
Yeah, but I bought that 5 years ago.
That was the last one.
And I don't anymore. I gifted that thing away. But I did buy a pub in the last couple of years, so I guess that counts.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Maybe, just because they make it, The blur... Okay, so I can't remember the last time Kershaw used M4. Maybe I haven't been paying close enough attention, but usually when I see them using tool steels, it's D2. Just wondering if Dennis or Nigel remember any other models that may have used M4?
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
I'm probably
not off the top of
wrong.
my head.
There was probably some sprint runs that they did, probably with M4 in it. But yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
Mhm.
I just wonder
Same.
if they're going to ever return to doing M4 in other sprint runs or other limiteds, or if this is kind of just a one and done.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Well, they've been doing. Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Paul.
I was going to say, Francis just jumped into chat and said, in M4 Kershaw, the world has gone crazy. And
A little bit.
a little bit.
Welcome to 2020.
What are you rocking tonight?
And then Dennis was about to say something there as well.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was going to say, but what I will say is, I can't remember being excited about a Kershaw. I mean, for quite some time. So, like, as soon as I saw these, the Blur's always been one of those staples. They've been a bunch of sprint runs. And actually, what I was going to say, now I remember, is Kershaw this year in particular has been doing a bunch of sprint runs. Whether it's a leak, whether it was a bare knuckle, whether it's the knockout with the carbon fiber M390. Yeah, they've been doing a bunch this year. So the M4 Blur is just another one of those. Like, they're probably not done. They'll probably do at least one or two more before the end of the year is out, type of thing, because they've had some pretty good success with it so far, right? So.
Yeah. And yeah, the Blur's always been one of those models that's on my list and been on my radar. But because it's right-hand carry only, there's no screws milled out for left-hand carry. It's always never really been appealing quite enough. But yeah, the price they're charging for the M4, it's worth it. I don't care if it's right-hand only at this point.
Kind of a hard thing to pass up for sure.
Like $200 on the shelves at Cutting Edge if you can find them.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's tax included. $200 is crazy for M4. Quick jump in. Francis is carrying his chamois today, which is never the wrong answer.
Yep.
He's just wearing it. It's on his chest. He's just
pocket clips going through his skin. Just
I don't like that at all.
No, that took a dark turn.
Dude, very
and
quickly.
Kiefer's saying what's up too. What's going on, Kiefer? What are you carrying tonight?
Good day, boys.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna say the Blur in particular. It's one of those few Kershaw models that I've wanted to return to for quite some time. Like when I first got into knives, I had a Skyline, I had a Clash, I had a bunch of stuff that I would routinely carry. The Blur was one of those where it's like, yeah, it's lightweight, it's pretty durable, it's still a good size for a work knife, but this is Nigel's. This is the first time I've been tempted enough to go back to it. M4 for $200. It's
yeah. I think the last time I was potentially tempted just for the steel in a Blur exclusive was the one with the ZVP.
Yeah, the composite blade.
Yeah.
Composite blade would be hard to pass up.
Oh, I was thinking the Tanto tipped one with the green, like the swirl green handle.
That was BDZ1.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That was the last one that I was.
And people didn't know enough about BDZ or BDZ1 or anything like that to just pay a crazy premium for the green smoky. And they also did a purple smoky in those Tantos as well that we never got on the shelf. But
How do you get smoky and anodize it to aluminum? Or was it not aluminum? Were they different?
Oh, it was aluminum. Yeah. Look it up.
Okay.
You've got some homework. Come on.
But yeah, if it wasn't a Tanto tipped half serrated, I probably would have grabbed that one. Just for the experiment of the steel, and yeah, I really liked how they did the handles with the smokiness.
Nice. One of my really good friends, as far as he's concerned, there is no other pocket knife on the friggin' planet. He's had his Blur for 17 years, he told me. I tried to sell him one of the M4 versions just to say, like, hey, man, if you like Blurs as much as you do, this is the ultimate Blur for you. And he was like, no, I've had mine for 17 years. It doesn't need any updates. Which means he's rocking, what was that, 440A, you were saying, Dennis?
Well, it could be the 1428. We were trying to figure out if there was something between 440A and 1428 Sandvik, because
that's quite the
original Blurs were like a 440A. I remember seeing it in the catalog, and it makes me chuckle from way back in the day.
Holy.
I think the catalog I have is a 2001, 2002 catalog.
Mhm.
And Blackout, Whirlwinds, Blurs, they were all 440A.
That's insane to
So-
me.
It's
A
amazing
little
where we've
bit.
come in 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Goes from a dive knife to a to a decent working steel. Like,
Being
holy
bit
crap!
of a
Sabenzas were ATS 34 once upon a time.
I like, yeah.
What were you saying there, Nigel?
oh, it's been a bit of a steep ramp up for the steel progression in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you look at like technology in general and how much of
Mhm.
that ramp from the 90s to now,
Yeah.
kind of makes sense. Just a quick interjection here. Kiefer's carrying his small Sabenza 31 and a Kershaw Dividend and M390.
Nice.
And Francis is asking if the blade is coated, and the blade is most definitely coated.
Come on, Dennis.
He needs to see the blades coated.
I got nothing to prove.
Shady.
All right.
Just
on that note,
briefly on the topic of steel and steel development. I don't know if you guys were aware, and I don't know if our viewers are, but there's a book that just came out that I
Ooh,
think,
you did get one. Nice.
yeah, by a certain Dr. Laren Thomas.
Yeah, I'm
That
Oh, good old
Be borrowing
Larry
that.
Thompson.
it's yeah, no kidding, eh? But it's a chonky read. It goes from very introductory concepts into really complicated information, and
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to borrow that.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. As far as I'm aware, he's not making any Kindle versions. It's just being printed physically through Amazon. I may scan a PDF for myself just to have on my phone.
Dork.
Man, dude, the term is nerd. Yeah, but I highly recommend that if you're at all interested in how steel works, this is going to be the most guided bit of information you can find on that subject, especially relating to knives.
That's awesome. Francis is saying in chat that it's an awesome price for M4, which is true.
Yeah.
He's asking, is the next cheapest M4 that we have a bailout?
Yeah.
What's a Gale Bradley go for?
No, Super Freak is 275. The bailout's 300, or
Okay.
give or take. Yeah.
Guy used
I don't
to
know.
be
Check your local listings for current prices and all that garbage.
CuttingEdge.com.
plug.
Wow, that's gonna take you somewhere that's not our website.
That's
But
true. And then Kiefer's saying that stainless steel is the best steel.
Yeah, it is.
And apparently he's got that same book coming to him this week,
Very
Very
nice.
Very good.
which is awesome. Have we exhausted our topic of the blur?
I don't know. It's M4. You should get one because
Yep.
they're limited
If you
edition.
can.
And
Yeah.
get it while you can. Limited edition. Carrying it, using it, beating it up.
It's
It
my
will
camp
happen.
knife. It's already got scratches on the aluminum handle and the pocket clip.
Nice.
I've
Oh,
had
oh.
it for roughly 48 hours.
I will
Yeah,
also be using the hell out of mine.
Yeah, if I'm carrying my SHOT Show knives, there's no way in hell I'm not carrying that one.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
And on that note, let's move on to some questions that we asked this week.
Alrighty.
First question was, what knife trends have you seen that you're glad to see lose popularity? And we only got one response to this question this week.
Oh,
And the best part about it is that this was a question that I got from Nigel. And Nigel Smith says that he's glad to see the tactical gut hooks leave. Would you care to elaborate, Nigel?
A couple years ago, when the first Destiny game came out, the Hunter class has like a big Bowie, but it's got a gut hook on the back of it.
Yeah.
And I was joking around that it was a tactical gut hook. and I would hate to see that become a trend. And then did start to become a trend.
I was gonna say, there was a few knives that
for a
started
little
showing up.
while.
Like that.
You
What was
just had to say it.
There was a few knives that showed up with gut hooks.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
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 I'm just
And really, really bad gut hooks to begin with.
Mhm.
Like the square-tipped Gerber machete that you
Yeah.
can get at Walmart. Like it's square, it's serrated in one area of it, it's chisel-tipped, and then they threw on a gut hook. Like, I think they were trying to explain it to be like lifting like pots and pans as like a hook for that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's all it was good for.
I forget who made it. It might have been Buck. It might have been Gerber. But there was a knife at one point that they were like selling it with that feature where it had that hook on the back for
Yeah,
taking
that was-
pots off the
That
fire.
was a Ron Hood hoodlum from Buck.
Yeah, that you'd go to baton with it and it would smash it in half.
Mhm.
We're on the same. Yeah.
I don't remember them breaking, but yeah. They did have a hook. Yeah.
I saw a couple reviews where guys were showing taking it off taking pots off the fire and stuff. And then they'd baton with it. But they were specifically batoning at the heel end and putting as much strain on the tip as they really could put to it, right?
well.
So that might have been.
1 + 1 = 2. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
But this was years ago. I was still a baby to this whole game.
Fair enough.
Not much
He
has
was asking
changed.
if we have any tips for learning how to read. And I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's
You've seen me do
something
it
I'm
here.
still working on.
Yeah. You see me do it here all the time. No, thank you. I will not be teaching anybody.
Or potentially see referring to the book and how to slog through the info that's in there.
Oh,
Well, yes, but he said I just need to learn how to read. Any tips?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, you were gonna like print off a PDF of that. Do you mind doing it phonetically for Kiefer there? So
do a live reading of Laren's book. Yeah.
There you go.
only if you do it in the voice of William Shatner.
No. that's not
Every time.
that's not fun for
every time
me or
I
anyone
take a
else.
drink. Darren's saying to get a graphic novel. It'll help.
A graphic.
Thanks,
mean,
Darren.
I'm not a
I like reading them word pictures.
I
Not
just had
opposed
like
to
an
it.
image of like the IKEA instructions, but of like how to make a knife, and it's just like a guy at a forge and then at a grinder.
and it's all
Picasso with the nose on one side and the eyes over
Yeah.
here.
Of course.
yeah. It's terrible. I love it. Here, I got a trend that made it seems to be dying. I hope it's dying. I hope talking about it doesn't give it power. Karambits. Kind of happy that's gotten a lot less
I
attention
knew you were
lately.
going to say it, and now you've jinxed it. Now
Way to go.
jinx the whole thing.
Yeah. But seriously, that it needed to die. It as much as
They're
I
a fun
like
toy.
Warncliffe, or not Warncliffe, sorry, Hawkbill blades or Karambit knives.
Modified Warncliffe.
Thanks.
Trailing edge Warncliffe.
I hate that.
It's a recurve Warncliffe. Is that what it is?
I
It's
mean,
a Karambit.
yeah, you're not wrong, and I kind of hate it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh. Brilliant.
Um, so here's the thing with Karambits. They're not going to lose any sort of popularity as long as knives are still in the mainstream thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a double-edged sword. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's giving popularity. You've got shows like Forged in Fire, and you've got Doug Marcade on there bringing things up to the mainstream. But you've also got video games that are using these things and exposing them to violent nature and crap like that too, right? With the Karambits in particular. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's one of those. The Karambit is a terrible ambassador for the knife world, but it still is an ambassador for the knife world, whether we like it or not. Type of, yeah. So.
Yeah. To be
I
fair,
think there's I don't think it's really going to go away or necessarily fade, but I think the mass peak of the interest is pretty much done as far as like the tactical is fresh on the market and that sort of wave of that. I think it's done, but I think it's kind of settled already.
We're in the tail end
Mhm.
of that kind of,
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to crash completely out. I think, like Nigel's saying, it's going to steady out and just stay a certain percentage of the knife community.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to have a ring or I don't want it. Just a quick interjection. Kiefer is really excited about the idea of Joe doing a live reading. We'll have to figure out what level of Patreon that is.
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
Terrible.
We could put it on the OnlyFans account if Joe just did it in the nude.
No, in a sauna. But
there you go.
Off of an e-reader. I can't read it.
All right. Let's.
Well, you got to do it off an e-reader, or else the pages are going to get soggy in the sauna.
Exactly,
Yeah.
with the ink and everything. No, I don't think. Even if I asked nicely, I don't think that's something that Laren would let me do. It's just
no, probably not. That's
I can imagine an audiobook for that. And it just the reader becoming exasperated halfway through, trying to explain all the different diagrams and stuff, because he does include some nice pictures, but without it's dense reading so far.
See figure 3.2.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can imagine it's not something you're reading on the way to go into bed.
I might be actually.
Fair enough.
Nerd.
Yeah. So what about you guys? Trends you are glad are on the way out?
I'm kind of glad that cleavers are on the way out.
Because then there's more for you.
Well, it's fun designs and stuff like that. Some of them are really neat, but there's just so many out there. It's just
got a little oversaturated, and some got silly. And
you look at how wide they are and stuff like that. It's like
they all start to look the same after a while. Like
a little bit. I definitely already carry Spyderco's. I know about wide knives in my pocket, but the cleavers are a little much.
I totally agree with you, except for one knife. It's probably the most expensive knife on my list right now. That if I saw it, I would buy it, like just immediately. The Hawk Knives Orbit. It basically has the same profile as the Spyderco. Jesus, why am I drawing the Rock? Right. Because it's designed by Sergey Panchenko. Panchenko, thank you. Same designer, but it's the Hawks who made it, and it uses a lock that's what this is based off of. I forget, the Hawk lock. Yeah. It's the only cleaver knife that I really want, but I do want it. And it's specifically because it looks like a stupid choppy little razor. It's like,
wait,
yeah.
Is it the Rock Hawk lock?
The Rock. I don't like that.
He's not wrong.
Who, me or Joe?
Yes.
There it
Accurate. Is. Do we want to go on to our next question, or everybody's gone, right?
Dennis hasn't yet.
I didn't. Yeah. I was thinking about it. Honestly, I think they've already sort of subsided. I think karambits took their place, but the tactical tomahawks, in particular, I'm glad that trend kind of faded a little bit, and people went back to more practical kind of things. Hatchets, axes.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? The Sable Hawk was totally practical.
Yeah. And every other company that came out with something crazy like that type of thing, right?
Yeah.
But
I do agree. there's a time and a place for a tomahawk, but the tactical tomahawks were definitely the karambit of the axe and hatchet world.
Oh yeah.
What was that one from ZT? Was it Vanitas 4 or was it?
Yeah, it was Vanitas. I can't remember. Justin has one, but he's not with us tonight. So
It was something.
Probably forgot again.
I'm expecting he's going to show up halfway through.
Yeah.
it was something like the 100 or something like that. It was
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that's kind of died. But having said that, Cold Steel did come out with 3 tomahawks that are completely useless this year.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Spontoon.
I don't
the
know.
Hearts,
I don't know what
Bleeding
you're
Heart,
talking about.
The Diamonds. Listen, I'm not playing a game of poker here. I don't need hearts and diamonds in my tomahawks.
Don't you though?
No.
I want that curved spontoon, though.
Maybe the back of it with a good club, but that's the only cards that I need in my repertoire for sure.
That's fair. Little side tangent. Even like last year and the year before, with the cleavers becoming so popular, I was starting to see a few custom makers doing flicking hatchets, and I'm really glad that didn't catch on, or hasn't caught on yet.
That's what was the guy who did the butterfly tomahawk looking thing? It was like a butterfly axe.
That thing was so silly.
Like it looks,
I like it.
yeah, like stupidly well made, but my god, is it
Yeah.
goofy looking.
Yeah.
Kind of like, shit, I kind of want one, but I'm never going to pay the amount of money that would be needed to procure it.
Well, even wasn't it Gerber that did the machete, the Balisong machete or whatever this year?
I will be buying one of those at some point because it's so stupid. And I'm going to.
I have silly things in my collection, and I still shake my head at you.
Yeah.
We'll talk about those silly things next week, though.
Oh yeah.
Shall we go on to our poll
Yeah.
about whether or not people like our Knife Guy Fight Club? And it's, I'm going to be honest, it's quite resoundingly well received at 82% yes. But there is 18% of people that are a hard no. We got 14 votes for yes. And we actually, for the longest time, we only had 1 vote for no, and we're going to get to him in just a moment. But we do have 3 now.
Fair enough.
And so we're going to mention it just because it's here. Jay Lucky? Yeah, Jay Lucky. I guess. 13, who was our original Patreon subscriber. Unpatreoned us and told us that he didn't like our Fight Club, which I get it. We did a lot of reviews for a good long time.
That's what he initially subscribed for, yeah.
That's exactly it. And basically right now what we're doing is trying to keep things going while we can, how we can, until we are able to get back together and do reviews in the future and stuff like that.
Still put out some form of content so the channel just doesn't fade away, and the knife fights were just kind of one of the random things that we stumbled into.
Yeah, and they've been fun, and they're definitely going to be coming back in the future.
Oh, hells yeah.
But I think what we should be doing in the future, like last week was a lot of fun with the whole stream being fights, but I think we're going to break it up and do 3 or 4 here and there, or 2 or 3 kind of thing, and just limit it. So that
not have it be overwhelming.
That's it. The people that aren't coming here for that, they can skip those 4 or 5 minutes or half an hour or whatever it is. Be back into actual information.
You say that like people are gonna skip past that first half hour mark. Come on.
That's fair. The other thing I was gonna say, the thing that I found most funny was Mr. Fisk says that he doesn't like the versus fights, which is weird because it was his idea to have Nigel and Joe fight each other.
Into the pit with him.
There we go. I have to figure out who Mr. Fisk is going against.
Quentin Tarantino, executive producer against executive producer.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Like, that was a no-brainer as soon as you said it. I'm like, Tarantino executive produces a million things. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
And as Dennis was mentioning, we dubbed him our executive producer, and Paul also mentioned the fight between me and Joe.
Yes.
We do have the teaser trailer up on YouTube for anyone who wants to go and check that out. And we have the full-length video of the fight up as a Patreon reward if you do join up and subscribe to us there.
Which level? Was it base level that you gave it to?
Yeah, it's just any level you get the exclusives that we put up.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. The video is a lot of fun.
It was so ridiculous.
There's a couple parts in there that literally made me laugh so hard I cried. So
Excellent.
yeah.
It was fun to shoot. It was fun to watch after the fact. And then it was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, Darren is retroactively taking his vote away from Nigel and giving it to Joe for the best surprise look that he's ever seen.
He does good surprise looks.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Indeed. And on that note, we asked everybody if we should keep doing the brackets or kind of do a little bit more freeform. We talked about this last week on stream, but we figured we'd put it out to our Instagram followers as well. And it literally is split 50-50. We got 8 votes for brackets, 8 votes for freeform.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And we were already leaning towards brackets in the first place with the idea of doing brackets and doing like a B team as more freeform fun.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're going to stay with that.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Right? Makes sense.
We can call the B-side the pit.
Yes.
There you go. That's where
Send him
Mr.
to the
Fisk
pit.
gets tossed.
Yeah. So Shabazz is in the pit already. We'll see who yeah. We'll put him against a Sarlacc or something. Star Wars nerd. Yeah.
Excellent.
I like it.
Yeah, I'll get karambits and tomahawks.
Oh, there you go. Kiefer just broke the tie. He said brackets. Like I said, we're already leaning that way, so makes sense.
Glad you agree, sir.
Yeah. Never mind. The next question was, yeah, it's not worth it.
Alrighty.
What knife have you bought even though it had features you usually avoid? And we actually got a number of people. I want to say like 6 people that respond to this.
Cool.
Apparently, Darren wants to see Mr. Fisk fight a tribe of Ewoks.
He would just end up herding them all up and selling them in his pet store.
There you go. Just hamster. Death by hamster. Justin, we were saying, was going to arrive partway through. What's going on, Justin? A little late. Oops. What are you carrying tonight?
And second question, follow-up question for Justin. What model number is the ZT Tomahawk that you have? Because we were trying to figure it out, and I know you own
What
one.
steel was it again as well?
It's Vanadis 4 Extra. I
Okay.
know that already. Come on, keep with the times.
But
Get
you
with the times.
don't know the model number.
Jeez. Damn your Yoda-like brain.
You and your selective memory.
Indeed. So the first response that we got was from how the hell do you say Blaine's last name? Dennis?
Cleafer. I'm not telling you. I think it's funnier. Cleaver.
Either way, Blaine said that he bought the Spyderco Smock despite the fact that it was Spyderco.
Yep.
Not a huge fan of the Spidey hole and the ramp that it can make on a lot of knives.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense. Spydercos are kind of like that. People either love them or they hate them. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people that are in the middle ground.
And he was able to get over the terrible, terrible pocket clip that it has.
Hey, just because you're right.
Yeah. You didn't design it. Back off.
I love that knife, but you're totally right. That pocket clip is ass.
Nice. Justin saying the ZT is the 102. So Dennis was close. And it is Vanitas 4 Extra, which, yeah.
Cool.
That part we knew. And then Francis is saying that it's nice watching this stuff. He's probably been into this whole knife collecting game for about 3 years. So it's educational hearing about the old releases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my education only goes back so far. I know about stuff from before, but I don't know about all the stuff from before by any stretch.
Yep.
You know,
I know some things.
Yep.
2013 is when I started looking at stuff, and then from there, we're here.
Yeah, Dennis might have a bit of a stupid memory for details and models and stuff.
I'm not sure if I told the story on stream or not, but I've legitimately had customers that have relayed the look of a knife to me. I've had no idea what it was. I work with Dennis the following day, recant the story to him, and he's like, oh, it's one of these. We look it up, we figure out what it is. That customer comes back, I look it up again for them, and Dennis is correct. And it's happened more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis is just gonna.
It's not all encompassing. It's just mostly encompassing.
Well, and it's funny too because sometimes I've caught you in a moment where you couldn't quite remember what something was made out of or something like that, and you're like, well, at the time this was really popular and they used this in these models, so the blade was probably X steel. And then I, of course, have to go fact check it, and they're like, yeah, you're right. It's yeah, they were.
Well, unless it's companies like Rake where they come out with 3 premium models with 3 different steels. Yeah, ask me to recant that in decade. I'm like, I don't know. Like it's I probably will remember because it's just weird to do that instead of
Yeah.
like an S35 or whatever type of thing, like ZT did for a while or whatever, right? So.
Well, I mean, they're doing it now with a 20 CV at this point too, aren't they?
They've got 2 tiers with the ZT stuff. It seems like they've got an S35 tier and then they've got a 20 CV tier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But all of their like newest models, I think, have all come out with 20 CV, haven't they? All the stuff in the last like year or two.
I don't know.
I'm
For
trying
the
to.
most part, at least, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has come out with 20 CV, which is nice, but
Yeah.
as far as the majority, I don't know. If you go back 2 years, maybe not, but as far as like within the last year, yeah, I think it's pretty much all been.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think almost everything they've come out with has been a 20 CV variation.
Because it was only like 2 years ago that they only came out with a few models for the year anyways. Like the, what is it, the 609, that gold one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the few that year that was really like, ooh, okay. What's going on there?
What is going
Maybe
on
that was
there?
just me. Who knows?
Excuse me.
We're creeping up on our break time.
Yep.
And instead of going into the next question and going past our break time, do you want to pop into the break now?
Did we get all 6 answers from that last question?
No. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, may as well.
You only got the first.
Yeah, may as well jump into the break now and then continue into that question and delve deeper and whatnot.
Yeah, that's
Sounds
kind of
good.
what I figured.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, head on over to your favorite website and see if you can't grab up an M4 Kershaw Blur, because yeah, they're nice.
I do not want to know what Joe is holding right now.
Buy them up all fast so Joe doesn't get one.
Don't worry about it.
So yeah, we're gonna head off on a quick little break here, everybody. Go grab yourself a fresh drink, go hit the bathroom if you need be, and we'll be back in a few moments with everybody here.
Cheers.
We don't need